Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the CranKy Season 4 Playoffs, day number 2. We're back with some more StarCraft Evolution. Again, for those that are maybe unaware, StarCraft Evo, StarCraft Evolution is a game mod. It's a game mod that does pit together Brood War versus SC2. We're going to be featuring this mod in this tournament, and this is an event that is organized and run by CranKy. So big shout to CranKy, of course, and to ChiZik as well for sponsoring the event. ChiZik, they are the main sponsor, and they're an alternative streaming platform, a Korean streaming platform, as opposed to Twitch or YouTube, for example. And as a result, they do require live casting of this event to be on the platform of ChiZik, so that's why we're here. We're live 12 hours later, 12 hours after the fact, with replays. Let's go. Let us go. So we're here to cover these matches. Again, they're only 12, if not even less than that, but around 12 hours old. So we're going to be jumping into our matches here tonight, jumping into the playoffs of the tournaments. So yesterday we were live with day one. Day one, we did feature, of course, Stony Bulls versus, almost said Basilisk, versus CRHB. CRHB did advance on, and Stony Bulls is now out of the tournament, but now we're here in the upper bracket, and we're going to be featuring Team Liquid versus Onside. Let's go, baby, let's go. It's going to be a best of 7. Best of 7, Team Liquid versus Onside, WTL best of 2 format. So the way this works here, we have Kieran Zoun. Kieran Zoun, they're going to be as starting players. Kure for Team Liquid, Zoun for Onside, and it's going to be best of 2. If it's a 2-0 in either direction, then the player that won that 2-0 will stay on. The opposing player is knocked out, and then 1 point is granted to their team. If it's a 1-1 scoreline, then they knock each other out, and both teams also get 1 point as well. Again, the same format as World Team League during those playoffs. So WTL format here, best of 7 between Onside and Team Liquid. Likewise, on top of that, the winner of this series will advance on to the grand finals. Loser gets knocked down to face off against CRHB in the lower bracket. When it comes to the teams themselves, of course, Onside, they feature Zoun alongside Maru and Ryung. Bearing in mind that Shin is on Onside, but he is not playing for Onside in this league. He's playing for CRHB, if you recall. He's on an opposing team, so some drama, some tension there going on, as they're going to be they might even face off in the playoffs, maybe, depending on how matches do turn out. Likewise, for Team Liquid, it's going to be Kure, Clem, Skillis, and a Laser. A Laser, likewise, no longer on Team Liquid, but is going to be competing for them in this league. So great to see him joining their ranks once again, even if it's just for this tournament. Likewise, coming into this, I do lean towards Team Liquid. Team Liquid, they do have some heavier hitters in regards to StarCraft Evolution. I mentioned previously that just because you're good at StarCraft 2 doesn't mean that translates to StarCraft Evolution. We saw Raynor and Serral, as a result, struggle in their respective matches. And likewise, Maru and Clem have a lot to live up to here. They've got a lot of work to do to kind of put in the work, to put in the time, the effort, the practice into this game mod. But let's go. Let's go. Up first here, Kure versus Zoun. I would say that Kure is the ace play for Team Liquid, so they might even be looking to all kill. Like what? Like what the hell? Setting out Kure first is wild. It's pretty wild here. I would imagine they want to hold on to Ryung to snipe a TVT. I would imagine they want to hold on to Ryung in regards to Onside. For Team Liquid, I guess they're going to be holding on to a Laser and Skillis. They're both very strong players in their own right in StarCraft Evo. We'll see how much time and practice Clem has been putting in to see how he looks as well if we do end up fielding Clem, of course. But let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Sylphid. Be jumping in, gonna be loading into Sylphid again, a 3-player spawn map to start the series. Let's go. Okay, let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Onside. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Kure. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our initial best of 2. And first things first, Zoun does move out for his initial scouts. Welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, right side, and left side. So 3 possible spawn locations, and Zoun will find Kure immediately. So a little bit less RNG when it comes to looking for our opponents. Likewise, I would say on these multi-spawn maps, it's very common for Terran players to go CC first, but Cure does go Rax first instead. Okay, so a bit of a safer start here out of Cure, as Zoun is being as annoying as possible. I should also mention as well, coming into this, the reason why I said, yo, Cure, he's looking to maybe even all kill. Cure, he is the best Terran player in StarCraft The Illusion. Straight up. He is the best Terran, followed by Beyond, I would say, like Beyond probably top 2. Alongside Cure, but Cure has been looking very dominant as of late. Like when I think of the top players in StarCraft Evo, I think for each race, Classic for Protoss, Cure for Terran, and Shin for Zerg. Like those are the 3 that I do look to, and as a result, all 3 of those players are in the playoffs. Different teams, of course. One team has 2 of them, with Classic and Shin being on the same team, might I add. That's why I rate CRHB as highly as I do. But we'll see how Cure can handle himself as he does open up with his own Rax in the factory into a later CC. So later command center. Meanwhile, across the map, we just see Zoun. Zoun just opening up, getting into his own natural, nothing crazy, nothing wild. What I should emphasize though is that factory. It is very common. It's a very, very common build to go for additional Raxes and to go for a 3-Rax stim timing. It's a very common build with Brood or Terran. For Cure to open up 1-1, I'm curious if you plan on going into a second factory into mech. I'm curious if we go into like mass vulture, like double factory, double vulture production, as it looks like we do force the CCW off center. Or if the plan is to go into a 1-1-1 into Wraith play, which we have been seeing a little bit more commonly as well. But now, getting the probe is trying to get a full scout, trying to get a read on what exactly the build is going to be. Probe is dealt with. And CC is on the way, can always be repositioned, can always be lifted. And Zoun will soon move out. Oh, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the initial vulture is out, so we do have to keep up with that vulture. And there it is, second factory. So double factory, looks like mech, looks like mass vulture production here out of Cure. Meanwhile, Twilight Count's opener out of Zoun, opening up into most likely Blink. We'll keep an eye on whether or not he goes into charge instead. Now, Zoun, because he saw the early factory, mech should be in the back of his mind. As I mentioned, it's very, very common for Brood or Terran to go into multiple Raxes and to go into stim, so seeing a factory is very abnormal, it's very unusual. It is something that I'm sure Zoun has taken note of, and we'll see if he can recognize and piece together what's going on and defend back at home. Armory behind this as well, building up into our upgrades. Going to be building up, and we have our tech of choice. It's going to be Blink. So Blink is on the way, extra gateways being thrown down as well. We are getting to a Blink heavy start. I say that so far only 2 gates, so 2 gate Blink into a robo. This so far looks like a more or safe build, a safer build here. 3rd gateway gets thrown down. We'll see if we throw down a 4th gateway. A 4th gateway would signify aggression and signify a greater push. So far we have 3. Meanwhile, Goliath opener. We do have a couple of vultures, and they're setting up mines on the field. I mean, I guess behind this, he doesn't know, right? He doesn't know whether it's a Stargate or not. So going for a couple of Goliaths. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, there was a build that, I want to say, was it Kiwian? I want to say Kiwian in top, like last year, like early SC Evo, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, where when they played mech, they would open up early armory into like 1 or 2 Goliaths like this, then into like actual mech, just because you wouldn't be able to scout whether it was a Stargate opener in TVP. But yeah, this is not the first we've seen of this. Like this is reminding me of Kiwian back in the day. Alright. So again, a bit of a more traditional form of mech. Much more traditional. Spider-Man's getting heated up. You see Marines in the main base, Vultures at the natural. Sorry, I say Vulture, Goliaths at the natural. Just to make sure that there's no Oracle harass. And from here we're just building up. Academy is going to be on the way. That's going to be for the Comsat Station. Vultures they try to pick in. Ooh. And the Stalkers they don't get baited. And mines are being cleaned up as so far Zoun is keeping up with Cure. So far so good. And we're going to slow things down. The game is going to slow down. We're building up a more mech-based composition. Siege mode is on the way. Tank production is beginning. When it comes to setting up defensively here on this map, depending on how we expand, I mean, even here, I would say that the high ground on the left-hand side isn't really too abusable. Like, I'm still thinking about Polarpoid, for example, or some of these other 4-player small maps where it has such egregious positions outside of the natural. Here, again, it's a choke point. We had to have a bit of more secure place on low ground, and we'll see if Kira can keep up. We'll see if Zoun can find an opening. Speaking of, yeah, tank is sieged. There are 3 tanks on the low ground. And again, so, of course, mech has been confirmed for quite some time. Kira, he does notice the observer. And he even catches out 2 stalkers. Yeah, 2 stalkers go down. There's the observer, gonna get sniped. Oh no! There we go. Just barely. Yeah, it does get sniped in the end, and now Kira's securing his third. It's securing his third base, building up. Now, this is getting a little bit scary here. Typically, the Protoss player wants to threaten the third base, delay the third base. Checking Zoun's vision, he did not rotate. He didn't rotate over, he did not check the third location. He's been threatening the triangular location instead. Third is getting up. Same time, vultures, they try to rush past. A lot of vultures go down in the process, and we'll get a couple of worker kills. And 1, 2, 3, 4 probes. It's some damage, I suppose. It does distract the army. It's allowing Kira to build up more tanks. Building up more tanks, securing his position, finishing up more upgrades as well. We'll see if it's going to be enough, because that's still a lot of stalkers. Yeah, they're moving out. So meanwhile, the backup observer does scout the expansion. You can see the Goliaths, they see the observer. Kira, he does notice, but oh, he does get forced back. Nice save at a Zoun. Zoun arrives just in time, waste of a scan. Moving further in, but the tanks are ready. And again, Zoun cannot threaten this base, not really. Oof. Zoun can't move in. Can't move in. Behind this, getting a 4th expansion. So if we get in a 4th base, getting into the mid game. And yeah, again, we're just getting into a longer game state here. Kira's still walling up. At the same time, there's a prism that's going to be threatening the main base. So there are no turrets. That's a little bit concerning. There are no turrets, no units in position. Zoun, he has an opening. Yeah, there is an opening for Zoun. Speaking of, drop into the main. Stalkers A2 rotate as well. Going for the warp in. Vultures, they respond, but Zealots, they can trade decently well here. Okay, going further in, getting 2 SCVs so far. No major damage, good reaction by Kira. Kira pulls away. Yeah, Kira pulls away in time. Nothing crazy. Turret goes down, forcing all these turrets out of Kira. I do feel like there might have been a way to achieve a little bit more damage. It's just difficult here just because of the siege line, so stalkers, they couldn't quite move in. I say siege line, we have a massive minefield as well. Like Kira, he is turtled up very hard here outside of the natural. It's going to take a lot to work through this, and we're going to try to. Oof. Again, the mines just ensured that stalkers cannot blink on top of the tanks. Not like this. You have turrets as well to make sure the observer doesn't get close, or prism. Behind this into a mortar production, more zealots are amassing as well. Archons, just this heavy gateway robot composition. Ooh! One mine connects. And there's no sky toss, which is important. So, like, that's the big thing. That's the only thing that Kira has to really be careful of here. Is that Kira has to be careful about war prism harass and like stalker aggression rotating over into another base, or a sky toss transition. If that were to happen, we will need to switch into more Goliaths and into more Stargates as well, or Starports. But against a gateway heavy composition, we can just commit. We can just keep making more tanks and more vultures and more mines. But again, Kira just has to make sure that he's aware of any kind of higher tech. Needs to be aware of anything else. At this stage, I wouldn't even be opposed to EMPs. I say EMPs to science vessels just for EMPs. 1, 2 vessels, defense matrix as well, of course. That can also work quite well here, protecting the tanks. Speaking of, there it is. Side source is on the way. EMP is now done. The vessels are coming. And this is where I have to say it's on Zoun. Right now, Zoun is maxed. Zoun is maxed out. He's getting another expansion. I would say that this was late, considering the amount of map control that Zoun had. And I would say that this is the point where we would need a couple of Stargates. 1, 2, 3 Stargates, a Fleet Beacon, second Cybercore, and start to work on that transition, or at least just to have it ready, just in case we do need it. That would be the hope. But for now, Zoun is pushing in. MP does graze the army. Archon goes out. Massive tank shots here on the Zealots. Again, at this point, after this engagement, you see the siege line. Meanwhile, at the same time, Prism gets shut down in the main. But you see that siege line, and again, are we just going to really try to brute force this? The answer is yes. Okay. Alright, Zoun, let's go. There it is. Stargate. Stargate now begins, but this feels like maybe 2-3 minutes too late. Like, this is a very late Stargate, very late transition. But as we were saying, Zoun is now thinking about this. He's now like, oh, like, now I feel less confident that I can break through this siege line, and now I'm going to need to start to work on the skies, or take to the skies, but it feels quite late. It does feel late. Zoun trying to move in, takes a massive mine to the face. Oof. Yeah, mines are connecting, and Cure snowballing out of control. Yeah, he's snowballing out of control. He has a massive army to work with. Spider mines, they pop off. Tanks, they siege, they annihilate the army. Oh my god, the tank shots. Yeah, massive tank shots. Immortals go down, and we just walk. We just walk across the map. Zoun plummets in supply. Double scan, looking for Sky Toss. Only one Stargate. As I mentioned, the Stargate was too late. It's too late. The army goes to a minefield. Defense matrix on the tanks. And even on siege, these tanks are popping up. Ooh. Warping is denied. The Warping had some potential, but it's going to be denied. And again, Zoun, he plummets 80 supply. Jesus. Remember, both armies are maxed. Both armies are maxed out. Tanks are moving in, wedging themselves in between the bases. Getting on top of the high ground. Zoun knows he cannot fight. He's going for a backstab. He's going for a counterattack. It's time to base trade, but it's so late. Yeah, the base trade is going to hit too late here. Tanks are knocking down the front door. You see Zoun commits across the map. Goliath transition here is, you can see the Cure is a little bit scared of Sky Toss, so switching into Goliaths. And Zealots, they do trade well. The Archons are breaking through the initial siege line. But Cure is coming back. He's coming back with some reinforcing units here. Does try to race back home. Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. I mean, hey, this is good damage. And Cure, he's not gaining ground here. He does not kill the natural. He does kill the third base, but Cure leaves the army idle. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. Came to the production. 53 SCV kills. Zoun, can he do this? Ooh. Blinks into spider mines. Ay, ay, ay. Zealots, they annihilate the economy. Ooh. Cure, now he's pushing in. Again, was a little bit late to do so, but there we go. Does siege up. There's recall back home, within range of the tanks. These tanks, they should break through. Oof. I say that these LC trade so efficiently, and we need more vultures here. More vultures, more Goliaths, more buffer. A lot of tanks go down. Yeah, there's a defense matrix. And Cure's done it. Yeah, Cure's done it. Cure defends back at home. He cleans up the army, pushing into the natural. Still has 2 tanks left from the original siege line. There's the EMP. And GG. GG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG well played. Cure does take lead in the series. Again, Zoun, I'm not opposed to his initial play style of going for a heavy gateway composition, but as we try to emphasize, a couple things were occurring there. One, Zoun, he was very delayed when it comes to getting his 4th, 5th base as well, bearing in mind that Cure didn't really have any map control. He was turtling up back at home. There was some vulture harass, but because the harass was so light, Zoun could have been greedier when it comes to expanding. Likewise, could have been faster / greedier when it comes to taking as well. We saw a very late realization from Zoun that he needed to take to the skies. We saw a very late Stargate there. That was after he had maxed and after he pushed into the third base. That's when like the realization set in where it's like, oh, like there's too many tanks here, like, oh. So it's a late realization. Then he threw down the Stargate. When he threw it down, the army was pushing, right? That's how late it was. The army started to move out, and Zoun could not stop it. GG. GG, well played. I mean, it's not like you have to play Skytoss against mech. It's a good way to play against it, of course, as you force a transition and you shut down the tanks. But going for this more gateway-centric style typically means you have to be more assertive. You have to try to hit a little bit faster and try to break the opponents at a little bit earlier before they max out, right? You have to try to trade and break them before they do end up maxing out. And you can definitely argue that specifically on this map, there aren't really many avenues of attack. There's not really many blink routes into the bases or many ways to like pivot around or find another way into an expansion. It's a bit of an easier map to lock down with tanks. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now going to be loading name number 2. Now the roles have been reversed. It's going to be Zoun's turn to play Brood War Protoss, Kira's turn to play SC2 Terran. Oh boy. And again, I feel like that was Zoun at his best. Zoun, he's one of the more inexperienced players in StarCraft Evolution. We'll see what he brings to the table here as Brood War Protoss. Spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Gyur. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss, the Brood War Protoss. For onside, it is Zoun. Let's go. Let us go as we're going for a proxy. Before he goes to the proxy, though, I'll very quickly try to translate un momento. I will attempt. Okay. So Zoun, he's saying that when I look at the mines, I can't breathe. And Kira's like, the mines weren't very good. And Zoun's like, yeah? Question mark? But they're talking about the spider mines. They're referring to the spider mines here. Zoun expressing his dismay. Kira's like, they were okay. I mean, they were a big part of the siege line. It did mean that, of course, the tanks were much safer with all those spider mines. But again, Zoun, he's opening up with the proxy 2 gates. Going for the proxy, gas is being taken, so we're going to go for the cyber core behind this. And Zoun, he will find Cure immediately. Meanwhile, Cure does go Rax for a single gas. Looks like Rax expand. Economic opener here out of Cure. Thankfully, not CC first. But this is still ideal for Zoun. This is what Zoun was looking for, what he was hoping for, is an economic build. Speaking of economic, yep, there's that CC. It's going to be slowed down. This tells me that the factory is delayed, so it's going to be a later Hellion, later Cyclone production, for example. Later tech, later defensive units. We've got Reapers, Marines, and a bunker to work with. But now though, again, here come the initial Zealots. At the same time, Kira, he will SCV scout. Very lucky here, actually. He does scout his opponent immediately. No! He needs to see. He needs to check the gateway. He pulls away, but hopefully, yeah, there we go. He does check the middle. Does check the center. I was going to say that typically the gateway would be set up here at the main base, at the entrance. Or even at the natural at times. So Kira does rescout. Kira, he does check the gases. Dragoon production has begun. And the bunker's on the way. Yeah, boys are being pulled. We have to finish up that bunker. Yeah, needs to finish that bunker here. Zell does chase one of the weakened SCVs. CC is not delayed. And so far, very nice defense here by Cure. Losing one SCV so far. Just one. And one SCV goes down. Dragoons, oh, they have right bunkers already. No, the bunker. Oh my god. Yeah, bunker does finish up. 2 Dragoons, they do make it past. But they're going to be surrounded. Yeah, they're going to be chased down. SCVs there hit a block. 1 Dragoon falls, 1 Dragoon left. So far killing 4 SCVs, that's not good enough. And that's not good enough here. Oh, we're trying to dodge shots. Trying. And the Founders Dragoon is going to go down, only getting 4 SCV kills, bearing in mind that Cure, he has 2 bases. He has 2 orbitals, he has double the mules, double the SCV production. Remember, Zoun is 1 base all in. Zoun needs more damage. He needs more than this. Stalkers, they try to pick, sorry, Dragoons, they try to pick in. We have the Bay on the way, that's going to be for Reavers. So proxy Reaver here out of Zoun. Going for the Reaver drops. And Curie slips out. Yeah, slips out across the map. Thankfully, there's a battery. There's a battery back at him to defend. Battery is at home. Zoun is safe. Working on shuttle speed. And with the help of this Reaver, Zoun can break this. Like, the Reaver is built to break these bunkers or to harass the mineral line. The Reaver has potential. Curie does scout. He does confirm the Reaver drop. He's aware. He is aware Viking production has begun. Bunker the main. Ooh, barely going to be delayed. Up. Oh, another shot going off. Catching on 3. Yeah, 3 SCVs going down. Does force the split. Oh, 2 SCVs are clumped towards the end there. 5 workers falling. And it's getting in hand. It's getting in hand. This one Reaver is killing Cure. Oh my god. Jesus, 2 shots. Yeah, does 2 shot a tank. Second shot goes off. Tank goes down. Heavy losses for Cure. But the Viking has arrived and Cure will hold. Curie does hold, does defend. Did lose a lot of units though. Lost 5 SCVs, 1 tank. Now we have double Reaver. And you can see the amount of burst damage here on the bunker. Bunker goes down. And takes down the bunker. Thankfully there was a backup bunker a little bit further back. Zoun expanding, going for the ninja expansion. Behind this, going for the Citadel into Zella legs. Oh. Jesus. Okay, clutch moves out of here. Saves the SCV. Saves the worker. We're building up to 3 Reavers now. It's a lot of Reavers. Oh, shuttle went into the Viking. Yeah, getting 1, 2, 3 shots. Oof. Ah, no, the Viking overextends. Yeah, massive overextension. 4 CV kills. Viking goes down. We got a messy defense here from Cure. Getting messy. Does he catch him? No, barely not. Barely doesn't catch. Cure should be safe on 2 bases, but we'll see how much more damage Zoun can achieve. Because the shuttle is so low, there should no longer be any more Reaver harass. It'd be far too risky here. Far too risky. And remember, Zoun is not all in, he is maynarding. The probes have to go all the way across the map. I don't know if it was necessary to really get a ninja base here. We could have just taken a regular expansion, that would have been fine. Like, there's not really much reason to get a ninja base, but sure. Unless you believe you can't really stop a pushing army. In that case, it makes sense. So it gets called out. Natural base now getting up and running, fully operational. Zoun now has a comparable economy to that of Cure. Getting a 3rd. Here, getting a 3rd base. Dipping in towards the main. Stim is on the way for Cure. Cure is going to be stuck at home until Stim finishes. Just like in regular TVP in SE2, we're just stuck at home. We're waiting for Stim, combat shields, waiting for the bio army to build up, and then we can push. Whether this turns into a 2-base all-in or not, that's kind of what Zoun has to confirm. Right? Is Cure going to expand, or is he just going to double down and pull the boys? Likewise, it's also going to be on Zoun to make sure he reacts in time, to make sure he does not lose these Reavers, for example. I would say there's no need to keep three Reavers here. Because only 2 of them can fit in the shuttle, I would advise to send one of them back home. Otherwise, when Cure breaks out, he will at least kill one of them. So this is risky. Yo, is he listening? Is he? So I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna send him back home. So the long crawl has begun. Get home, baby, get home. I would have sent one of the high health Reavers back home instead. But sure. Oh, gets the tank. Very nice. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. Catching on a Marauder. Oof. Yeah, Marines I somewhat club. And they did come from Mammoth there. 3rd TC is on the way, so it looks like Curie is going to build up into the mid game. He's going to try to macro out of this. Zoun, he's reinforcing, wants to fight for map control. Bold move. Supply blocks. Oh. Yeah, big supply block. Likewise, forges are delayed. A double forge now on the way. So later upgrades. Later setup. So he goes out and moving out. Pulling back. Again, still waiting for that breakout moment. And Cure, he can now start being active. He has Stim, he has his upgrades, going for his initial mine drop. Oh, well, we got some okay connections on the Zealots at least, and both Wooden Mines are going to be saved. Okay. Both mines are saved. Do have a double drop. Zoun is on top of this. Ooh, catching out a full medevac as well. Heavy losses for Cure. Cure's in trouble. Again, this Observer did spot the drop. And Cure is successfully contained. Ideally, the drops get across the map. They force the Protoss army back home, and then Cure can get a 3rd. That's not been happening. And once again, the Observer does spot the drop. Zoun's aware. Oh no! He's gonna get it! Yeah, gonna. Oh my god. Barely not. Medevac pulls back. Another drop on the left. Again, Zoun's all over this. He's all over Cure, Pat. And now we're going to be diving in. Now we're going for the dive. Tanks are trying to siege up. A little bit late to siege. Zealots do 4. Shorts Reaver shots. 1 tank already goes down. Yeah, it gets 1. It gets another. Yeah, down to 1 tank. But we do lose the shuttle, though. Yeah, shuttle falls down to 1 Reaver. And Cure, he's barely holding on here. Cleans up all the Zealots, but there's only 1 tank left. No! Yeah, we'll lose the tank. Lose the final tank. And Zoun can keep pushing. Can barely keep pushing. Again, Cure still just can't expand. He just wants a 3rd base. He wants a 3rd back. And just contained perpetually here. He cannot break out. Marshall goes off. Liberation has arrived. He has some freedom. He has freedom, papi. Meanwhile, big shout to Miguelito. God, papi, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session as well. Hope you had a good time. Miguelito. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. Again, we are opening up. A Cure finally breaks out. He finally does expand, claiming a 3rd. Storm is done. Oof. Storm is complete. Speaking of, jeez. Oh my god. The burst damage, Bappy. But Cure does finally establish his own 3rd. So 3rd base up and running. Now he can maintain himself. Proxy's still active in the center. At this point, we've transitioned away from Reavers into Storm, into a more flexible army. Sure, finally breaking out, gaining map control. You know, the proxies at the same time as he moves out, we see Zel's moving in. It does hit the mineral line. The mine shots. Oh my god. And mine shots going off. Marines able to defend, and no SCVs have gone down. Very impressive defense here by Cure. You're not losing a singular SCV. Cleans up the army. Secure, he's out trading Zoun, but at the same time, Zoun is on 5 bases. Right, Zoun, he has the ninja bases bottom right. Oof. Storm does zone. Zoun getting his 5th. Needs a little bit more time. Bearing in mind as well that because it's a ninja expansion, it will take longer to Maynard and to actually saturate. And likewise, if Cure ever does realize that there are bases down here, Cure will shut them down. Now though. Now Cure looking to break out. Zoun rotating over as well. And there's that Maynard. And it feels like Cure is snowballing a bit out of control here. He's perfecting his army, getting into more Liberators, more Ghosts as well, into his Ghost Liberator army. It's becoming quite intense. Zoun trying to bypass the army instead. Telearm on the right. Main army here in the center. I don't think Zoun can fight this head on. Not like this. Best he can hope for is to backstab and to force the army back. Land a storm. Observer gets caught. Zealous should soon be activated. Here they come. Zealous moving in, but we have reinforcements back into the defense. Tanks the mine. Ooh, EP lands. Cure. Focus on the main army. Does pull back. Avoids the storm. Does kite away. Ooh, better storm towards the end. But also pull back. Jeez, oh my god, a massive storm! Yeah, storm lands on the biome. And Cure has to get out of here. He has to pull away. His army is heavily bruised. Took a massive storm to the face. Storm creates in the army. Goes, they overextend. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol at a Cure. But does pull the Ghost back in time. Yeah, save the Ghost. Gets 1, gets 2 Dragoons. Nice pickups. Catching a couple of Dragoons, gaining ground. At the same time, Zoun going for a big counterattack. Trying to set up 2. Setting the wrong bites. Oh! Yeah, goes to go back into the storm. But I believe that was the final. Yeah, that was the final storm. No more High Templar. Yeah, 0 Templar left, 0 storms, which means Cure can just take the fight. He just take the fight. EMPs the army. Oof. Heavy losses for Zoun. Again, without storm, he cannot fight this. Zealous, they do get into the mineral lines though. SCVs are falling. Yeah, Zealous in the main, Zealous in the natural. SCVs are going down at the same time. Cure trying to focus on the main fights. You can see Zoun making 4 High Templar at a time, but they're on the bottom right. Oh god, the production, the ninja based production is hurting him. Base trade. Yeah, we're going for the base trade at this point. There's no way to fight. Not like this. Not with High Templar bottom right. That's crazy. So going for the base trade. Pushing into the 3rd. Rotating to the 4th base, but there's a planetary. It's buying time. And these are the High Templar. Templar, they're out. But again, they're so far away from anything. They're so far away. Planetary falls, so does the main. Zoun does still have 2 bases fully operational. Bear that in mind. Does have an economy and has some production at least. Zoun is still in this. And here come those 3 Templar. We got 3 Templar. We're going to have 2 Reavers as well. That's a lot of splash damage. That's a lot of AoE. Here's the army, the tanks, the gateways, the pylons. Zoun trying to catch the army here. Ready with the storms. Up. He's getting ready. The Reaver shots. Curiosity looking. Does pull back. Yeah, 2 shots on 1 Marauder. Storm gets spent. That was the only Storm. No shot. Oh my god, the army's clumping. Yeah, massive clumping here. Oh gee, that's insane connections. Insane connections. We have to pull out of here. Curie has to pull away. Yeah, better fight for Zoun. Did lose all the High Templar. True, he has 1 Templar left with no energy. But the Reaver shots were insane. At the same time, Kira finally scans. Yeah, he finally does realize what's going on. He finds Ninja expansions. He's going for them. Back at home, he has reinforcements. Here he does find these bases. And Zoun, do we defend? Do we counterattack? He defends. He decides to defend. Goes to barely pull away. Likewise, liberating the main base as well. Zoun, he's going for the counterattack. Oh, takes the massive might to the face. And that's a lot of liberation. Oh my god. That's so much freedom. That's too much. That's too much, Pappy. Freedom is crazy. GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Cure, he still had his own 4 bases up and running back at home. He still had reinforcements. Zoun, he had 1 fight in him, and as we saw, did lose all the High Templar. The ninja bases, I would say, kind of hurt him more than anything because it took so long to get reinforcements coming to the main fight and get those High Templar going as well. Zoun did a decent job at containing Cure on 2 bases, but once Cure broke out and took his 3rd, he snowballed out of control, and Zoun could never really take a head-on fight, could only backstab and counterattack, and Cure made his way into the bases, made his way in. GG. GG all played. I'd also say that Zoun, he just, again, partially because of his production setup as well, like, didn't really have much splash damage to work with for a time. We saw that once he ran out of High Templar, like, that was it. Like, he could no longer fight head-on. He needed that Storm. He needed those either Templar or Reavers, and was a little bit inconsistent when it comes to that production. Was inconsistent. But with that, GG well played. With that, Akira, he will claim the initial 2-0. He will stay on as our player for Team Liquid, and onside, they gotta pull into their pool of players. And who do they bring out? Now, when it comes to TVT, Ryung does come to mind here. Ryung, he is a TVT sniper. Maru, less so. I do feel like Kure has stronger TVT than Maru. I would say that Ryung probably has the best chance. But it comes down to onside. It comes down to Ryung or even Crank to kind of decide, dictate who to field, who to send out, who is up next for onside. And can we stop the all kill? Like, because if anyone's going to all kill from Team Liquid, it's going to be Cure. And yep, there we go. No surprises here. It's going to be Ryung. So TVT up next, Ryung versus Cure. Ryung, he has some of the best, if not the best, TVT in the world. Better than Maru, better than Cure, better than Ryung. Better than Byun. But how does that skill translate to StarCraft Evolution? Ryung is still inexperienced, right? He's still less experienced than Cure in SC Evo. Can his pure positional play carry him in this best of 2? Let's go. Let us go. We're going to be loading into Fighting Spirit. Here we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Fighting Spirit, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the red Terran representing onside. It is Ryung. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Team Liquid Terran, the SC2 Terran. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go again. The ace player for Team Liquid. He's taken down Zoun 2-0 so far. And can he do the same to Ryung? Oh boy. Let's go. Let's go. We're getting into our TBT. Welcome to Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit is a 4-player spawn map. Bear that in mind. You can spawn in top right, top left, and bottom right as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. I would say your initial 2-base setup is relatively secure. We do have a choke point coming into the bases. There's no high ground advantage or high ground elevation at the natural. We do have some high ground here further back to help defend the natural from the main or in the main. The 3rd base though is very isolated. It's not too bad. Thankfully, the pathway here to the 3rd base is very long, but it's relatively secure. Thankfully, there's all this dead space here in between the center of the map and the pathway to protect it, of course, from tank lines and siege lines. So it's a protected area pushing in towards that high ground 3rd, but the distance here between the 3rd and natural is quite long. As a result, rotating and reacting, responding to different points of aggression can be difficult here, for sure. Can be difficult. Let alone the 4th base. Like, the 3-base setup can be hard to hold on to. The 4th base is crazy. Like, getting a 4th base here on Fighting Spirit is insanely difficult. So we're expecting more mid-game aggression. For now, economic opener, racks expand out of Cure. Likewise, we do see a faster CC first out of Ryung. This is very common on multi-spawn maps to go CC first, but Cure plays it a little bit safer, going racks expand. Ryung being greedier, CC first will get scouted immediately. So Cure does scout, it does confirm the early CC, so this does kind of prompt Cure into being more active and more aggressive, as now he knows that he's going to be behind in the SCV production. On top of that, we do have a 1-1 opener. It's already looking like Wraiths. So if you know anything about TBT and StarCraft Evolution, you know that Mass Wraith is very trendy right now in TBT. Going for a factory into starport, into second starport, into control towers, into Mass Wraith. We've been casting a lot of TBT actually this tournament, and that's kind of like the go-to. And we've been seeing a lot of Terran players struggle against Mass Wraith. Have been struggling. Now, we'll get into it if we confirm that it is going to be double starport play. Now, of course, going to be opening a vulture. Yeah, there's speaking of double starport, there it is. Yeah, double starport. It is going to be Mass Wraith. So, discussing this build a little bit here, it's just like in regular SC2. In SC2, there's 2.2 base all-ins where you go into Mass Viking and you fight for air control. And that's very common in TBT. Mass Wraith is a different dynamic here. So Vikings, I mean, air control is still paramount in TBT. It's all about air control. But Wraiths are faster. They're faster, they're very nimble, they're more mobile. They're kind of like Banshees. But they shoot up and they have some really good anti-air damage. They're like a cross or a mixture between the Banshee and a Viking, where they can harass and kill units on the ground, and especially with high enough numbers, you can burst down some Cyclones real fast and real quick. At the same time, they have really strong anti-air damage. The downside comparing a Banshee to a Viking, a Wraith to a Viking, is they have less range, right? They have less range. So technically, when the armies engage, the Viking will shoot first. The Viking does shoot first, but that's where Cloak comes into play. What we've been seeing with Mass Wraith is that the way that you work this, or the way that you do this, is you find the army, you locate where all the Vikings are or where the opposing units are, then you cloak ahead of time, and then you sneak up on them. You sneak on them, you close that distance with the help of Cloak, and then you get the first shot off instead. And we've seen it's been very difficult for players like Maru, players like Clem, for all these top Terrans to be able to react in time, to be able to see the shimmer in time, because often they're not looking at their army, they're looking elsewhere to notice that shimmer, and then bam, by the time they notice, they lose 1, 2, 3 Vikings, and then it all goes awry. Bearing in mind that it's typically initially more hit and run tactics, where Wraiths, they can move in, they can kill like 1, 2 Vikings, and they pull away, then they go back in, they kill 1, 2 Vikings, they pull away, and it just, they get whittled down over time. So again, the Mass Wraith is upon us. Now, I will say that we've been seeing a lot of Mass Wraith in TBT. So is Cure and all the other players competing in this tournament, because TBT has been so common in this event. Like, we've been seeing a lot of it, and I'm sure players like Cure have been kind of ruminating or kind of going over this kind of dynamic and trying to find the best response against it. For now, we're going into Macfill accelerators, into additional factories. We're not going Mass Viking. Interesting. To oppose this kind of style, we have been seeing Mass Viking Raven. The reason for this is that Raven, of course, has detection, so if you keep the Raven with your Vikings, you don't need to scan ahead of time, but the reality is that the Raven's also a very high value target, so very often the Raven would get killed, would get sniped, would be the first thing to be sniped even. So for now, it is going to be Mass Cyclone. And then we'll think about additional Stargates or Starports. Likewise, Curie has to be very careful with these Ravens. If he ever does overextend, he will lose them. Speaking of, gotta be careful. Behind this, still making more rates. Oh. And race that make the way into the main. Getting one, getting two SCVs, they can one-shot. The cannon will one-shot workers. He wants a Raven! He wants him! No! Ooh, gets one volley off. Yeah, there's the auto shard as well. You can see the panic there out of Cure, and he will punish. He gets 1, 2, 3. Very nice damage here by Cure. Catching out 3 raids. Ooh, gets baited into the tank line. Yeah, it gets baited. Massive losses here for Cure, losing all 3 Cyclones. And the bait out of Ryung. It should be a one-way trip here, but Race, they try to engage. Bearing in mind that Cure is holding over some auto turrets, they get thrown down. Yeah, they get thrown down, catching out one of the tanks. But again, the Cyclones are low. They gotta be repaired. Nice pick up. Getting in a CV. We're still trying to build up more Cyclones. You can see here that Ryung's just rallying. He's just rallying across the map. He's still trying to maintain this position. 2, soon to be 3 tanks. Ryung is reinforcing. He is reinforcing, setting up right outside the bases. So he's setting up a siege line in the tall grass as well. We built up to how many? Up to 8 raids so far. And I'll be honest, Cyclones, I don't see them breaking the siege line, but I can see the Ravens doing so. Moves in. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 disables. Cyclones, they move in, and they should break the siege line. Yeah, nice auto turret as well. Very nice cleanup. Whew. Cleans up all 3 tanks. Ravens are out of energy. They're out of energy. Have one more tank back home. But what's important about this cleanup here is that this ensures that Ryung doesn't start to push into the bases, right? Like going Mass Cyclone like this, you have to be very active, you have to be out in the open, you cannot be stuck defensive back at home. Ryung going for the new expansion, and Cure, he is looking. He's searching, especially after the last game. Zoun also went for ninja bases as well, and Cure, he will find him. Yeah, cheeky moves there by Ryung. Remember what we said earlier, getting a 4th base on this map is very difficult. And that 4th base should be denied. Cyclones, they get into the main, or they get into the 3rd. Tanks out of position. Oh, gets 1. Gets 2. Yeah, 2 raids. 2 raids go down. CC is cancelled. 10 SCV kills. Was that cancelled or killed? Cancelled. Okay. Was cancelled. Behind this Cure, continuing here with Mass Cyclone. The Cyclones. Back, true. We're back. It'd be 2024 all over again. Kappa. But I will say that this style is heavily reliant on the Ravens having energy, right? We need disables for tanks. We need auto turrets to help support the army as well. So Curie's going to be very careful. Rotating in. Tank does siege. Disables 1. Oh, and he's going to commit. Oh. Yeah, throws down some auto turrets here. We got to get out. We got to get out of here. Oh, we're losing 1. Yeah, 1 Cyclone falls. Cure, he has to pull away. Does pick off 9 SCVs, so that was worth it. Lost 1 Cyclone for 9 SCVs. So that was worth it for Cure. Goes back in, pulling Ryung apart. Catching out 12 SCVs in total. And catching out 12 workers. Cure pulls away. Cure pulls back. Ryung trying to be active again, trying to... bottom left is exposed, so there's potentially a fresh base here. We spoke about it earlier, and it's still applicable here, that the 4th base is very difficult to maintain. And SVs reveal themselves. Yeah, they reveal themselves. This middle line is going to go down. Oof. We'll lose every SCV here. Heavy losses for Cure. So 3, 4 SCVs and 2 turrets. Tanks there moving out. Oh, this is bold. We're running into the Cyclones here. Gonna be losing 2 tanks. And our stables, 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going to be going down. 5 tank kills. Ryung should not be there. He should not have been here. He should not have been down here. Losing so many tanks. That was 7 tanks going down. Heavy losses for Ryung. He pulls the boys? Okay. Yeah, boys are being pulled on the Ravens. Yeah, Ravens getting called out. They're out of energy. Yeah, Ravens are out of energy. The Cyclones have to pull away. No disables, no turrets. We mentioned this earlier, but without energy, these Ravens are dead weight. We need that support. Oh my god. Bailey gets 1. Bailey gets 2. Yeah, nice catch here from Cure. Locking on when they're unsieged. And Ryung, he's committed. He's trying to end the game here and now. Cure making his own defensive tanks. Oof. Ryung gaining more ground. And Cure going for the backstab. Catching reinforcements. Not bad. Yeah, gets 1, 2 tanks. And Ryung, does he turn around? Does he commit? He's committing. Yeah, he's pushing further in. We have some defensive tanks back at home. Cyclones are pushing into the bases. We got 3 tanks also likewise back here for Ryung. Ooh, third CC's on its own. Cure. He finds the third base. He's gonna bring it down. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Ryung, he's completely all in. He's all in, Pappy. Remember, Cure has a 4th. Cure, he has a 4th base up and running. It's fully operational. Ryung has to end the game here and now. Cure can set up first around, and he has a lot of Ravens here full of energy. What's the plan? He's going in. Yeah, he's going in. Disables both tanks, throws down the turrets. Oof, completely shuts down the mineral line. Ryung trying to gain ground, trying to move in, but he cannot. At this point, Cure's done it. Cure, he has done it. Outside of, a big blunder where he miscontrols and moves into a siege line, Cure should be fine. Tanks are making their way over towards the third base. Raven taking a lot of hits. Taking a lot of damage. Again, Ryung is down to a 1 base economy. Does find the third, which again is on its own. We could have seen this earlier. To start the move in. Oh. Liberator has arrived. Catching us some SCVs. Cure is rotating over to save his 3rd expansion. He should be able to. He should be able to. Liberators have forced the army in. And we clean up 3 tanks. So nice cleanup at a Cure. And now this is all we have left. This is all that Ryung has left. Okay, we have, what, 7 tanks. Mass disable. Yeah, we come in for the disables. We ignore the turrets. 1 tank is sieged, and everything is going to go down. It's all going to go down. We clean up the entire army. Everything's disabled. Liberation arrives as well, just because we don't need it. And with that, Ryung has lost his main force. We have reinforcing army coming in. We're trickling with 4 more tanks. Sorry, 5 tanks. It's going to be a messy fight for Cure, but he will break through. And the final tanks for Ryung. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Cure will take a lead in the series. Again, Ryung going into this mass race style has been very popular, very trendy, very meta in TVT. And Cure, he had an interesting response. Typically, the response to this has been you maybe open Cyclone into Mass Viking, into Viking Raven. And to be fair, we were trying to explain that dynamic earlier. We've been seeing top Terran players struggle trying to play Raven Viking against Mass Wraith. So instead, we just go Mass Cyclone. Just double down and go Mass Cyclone Raven instead. But I should also emphasize this was very proactive. It was a very proactive style. We saw that Cure was doing everything he could to be active on the map, to catch out unsieged tanks, to get within range of the lock-on, to be able to disable tanks, throw down the order turrets as well. He did everything he could to make sure he kept the tank count low for as long as possible, fought for map control, delayed mining at the third base as well. It was a very active style, very, very active. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Cure does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if we can close it out here and now as we load into Fighting Spirit. Let's go. Let us go. We're loading into game number 2 here. The roles have been reversed, and now it's going to be Cure's turn to play Brood War Terran. I'm ready for the Mass Wraith. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Fighting Spirits, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Green Terran representing Onside. It is Ryung. Let us go as we once again are loading into Fighting Spirits. This time we do have a close spawn. I mean, we had close spawns previously. This time it's going to be horizontal spawn locations here between Ryung and Cure. Once again, we are right next to each other. Aggression, it can be more favored here, and we'll see if Cure goes to the same build or something different. Do we go into a more mech heavy composition into Mass Vulture? Do we go into double starport Mass Wraith, or do we go into 3-rack stim into a bio setup instead? Eyes are on Cure. I stay like right or not. Hope you're feeling better, Light. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you. We're doing okay. we're okay. Still recovering, but we should be okay to cover StarCraft today. The morning broadcast and the evening broadcast. I guess as a bit of a PSA, originally we were going to be covering KSL today, but because we're still under the weather, because we're still recovering, the idea of doing KSL into RSL is a little bit too much, just because there's very little downtime in between. I think KSL starts in a couple of hours, and then by the time KSL finishes, RSL is like 2 hours later, so there's just like very little downtime in between. So we're not going to be covering KSL today, most likely via replays instead. Just as a heads up, won't be casting KSL live. Instead, we'll be covering Crank Gatherers here right now. Then, again, just having a bit of a break, resting, recovering, and then bam, RSL. For now, it is going to be our racks into factory, so we're already rolling out bio. We're rolling out in a kind of a heavy stim timing. And we'll keep an eye on those starports. Likewise, Ryung also going for his own racks into factory follow-up. After the faster CC. Starport is on the way. Yeah, we're going for the 1-1-1. It's going to be a Wraith base opener. So it's looking like Mass Wraith. And again, like this is the meta right now in TVT. Is to go Mass Wraith. Yep, there it is. Second starport. Now, we have seen Ryung play against us before, and typically he does go into Viking Raven. I'm curious to see if he's been inspired by Cure, right? Like, has he been inspired? Is he willing to go into, like, Mass Cyclone instead? Cyclone opener is standard, but whether we commit into a second factory, into multiple Cyclones, into Macula accelerators, that is yet to be determined. R&R is important for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't want to push myself too much and get worse. That's the that's the big thing. It's like, I'm getting better. The last thing I want to do is, you know, take that as the opportunity to like double down and get back into regular casting and then just lose all that progress, you know? So, take it easy. Oh. Cyclone does shut down the first Vulture. Vulture gets shut down. Shout out to SC Evo, the center of the map. Likewise, we have more Wraiths amassing. Cloak is on the way. Meanwhile, Ryung is going for a very fast third CC. Ooh, so greedier build here by Ryung. Fast third CC going for a later follow-up tech. Likewise, he's not going into a second Cyclone, so he's not going Mass Cyclone. So not Mass Cyclone. It's going to be initially a biotank setup here out of Ryung. This is looking much more standard. Much more standard. It's what we've been seeing a lot of, like when it comes to SC2 Terran like side of things. But we have been seeing this style struggle against Mass Wraith. So we'll see. We'll see if Ryung can keep up. Wraiths are moving in. We have our Cyclone and Raven at the natural in the mineral line. Gets one. Oh, not even. Breaks in, gets a Marine, pulls away, breaks a lock on. And now we bounce off each other. We bounce off. While picking in, Cyclone's out of position, getting 1, 2, 3 ACVs. You can see how quickly they can focus on workers as well. How quickly they peel away. And we have confirmation it is going to be a more biocentric follow-up. We do have a couple of Vikings on the way as well to help Zoun. We mentioned this previously, but Vikings do have longer range than Wraiths. Scan confirms the bio. Confirms a reactor at Starport as well. Wraiths, they got to be careful. Can we get a mule? Quite. Slipping past. I don't believe Ryung noticed. Yeah, did not quite notice. Third CC is now scouted. Ryung rotating on the right hand side. And Race, they move in. Yeah, they move in, but the charge done just barely in time here. So only 2 SCVs. That could have been a little worse. Where we go? Oh, right. Forgot the third CC was so far away. Forgot it was so far, but oh no! The SCVs, they overextend. SCVs a little bit too soon. 7 SCVs going down. Nice damage here by Cure. So far, Cure has lost no Wraiths. Wraiths have not gone down, not yet. And behind this, Cure still building up more. Getting his own third CC. Building up to how many Wraiths? We have 12. 12 Wraiths so far. A couple of tanks to support. Third Starport's on the way for Cure into triple Wraith production. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Quack, papi, quack. Esta la grasa. Your Cure's moving in. Let's back in. Oh, doesn't quite commit though. Now, what I will say is that Ryung's done a great job. He might have been losing some SCVs, but he's done a great job at retaining the main army. He's got his 3 Ravens. He does have Stim. Yeah, Stim, 1-1, combat shields. With these Ravens, ideally, he can try to shut down some of these tanks and then break through. Where are the Wraiths? Yeah, Wraiths out of position. Here come the disables. Gets 1, gets 2. We get 2 disables, they go off. Ooh. 1 Raven gets sniped. Tanks actually up further back here, but the third CC is going to be denied. Yeah, denies mining of the third, forcing the lift. Can we kill the CC? Uh-oh. He's going for it. Yeah, it does go for the kill. Mass repair. We'll save. Yeah, the boys, they will save the CC. Meanwhile, the Wraiths still looking for damage. They were able to snipe one of the Ravens earlier. Can we get the tank? Oh. Not quite. Yeah, not quite. Ryung going for 2 more starports, going to Mass Viking. So it is going to be Mass Viking once again out of Ryung. I say Mass Viking, it's going to be Viking Raven. So the third is denied. Ryung taking over the high ground. Racer coming from behind. Can we get the tanks? Do we catch reinforcements? Gets 1. There we go. Gets 1. Ooh, takes down a Raven as well. Very nice. Cure does pull away. Like, these are nice snipes for Cure, but the reality is that Cure has no third. And Ryung is getting a 4th base. So Ryung is just building up a larger army, a greater force. Cure's in trouble. He cannot maintain himself, not without a 3rd base. Floating over towards the top side with his marine in position. And this is an even more difficult base to maintain. Much more difficult. It is further away from your opponent, so you could argue that you have a little bit more space. We'll see. As Ryung is now aware. He's aware of the expansion. Ryung pulling back. His army is much more mobile, of course. Much more biocentric. And actually switching from Mass Viking into Liberator. So he's just perfecting his army, going to Viking, Liberator, eventually Tank Raven. Sticking with a lower tank count, more biocentric instead. Much more Marauder heavy, actually. A lot of Marauders. And here comes Ryung. Now, we spoke about this earlier. If you do take this northern base instead for Cure, then there's so much area here to secure. That's why we're spending so much resources on all these turrets and all these tank lines, and it does mean there's going to be that much less to defend here on the high ground. So Cure is spreading himself thin. As opposed to taking this base here, you don't need to set up your tanks on the pathway to your third base because it's already secure. So a lot of supply has to be spent here. Does overall weaken the defensive position here of Cure as he's just spread out. Ryung stepping in. Speaking of, Ryung, he doesn't find a way in yet. Nice cleanup here by Cure, actually. Very nice. Eraser clean up the double drop. Oh no! Jesus. Running into the main army. And barely does pull away. Has he still lost nothing? 3. Okay. I was about to say. 3 rates go down. I was about to say. So you see Cure going for the counterattack. Ryung likewise rotates towards what looks to be the third location, the older third. Now Ryung now knows that the race out of position. Eraser reveal themselves. Ryung is moving in. Ooh, one shot's the turret. Oh my god, the SCVs are gonna fall. Yeah, massive damage here on the top side, and Ryung doom drop into the main. He's going for the doom drop. Army's out of position. Turrets that will help, but they won't stop the unload. Yeah, they will not stop. Massive unload in the main base. Army's trying to race back home, but again, there's nothing here in the main. There's nothing in the main base. We're setting up our siege lines, and Ryung is just tearing Cure apart. Yeah, massive siege on the low ground on the ramp. Tanks cannot move in. And that's the death of this production. You know, the production is going to go down, and Ryung, he fights back. He fights back for himself. He fights back for onside. And is looking to put a point on the board. He's looking to bounce back, and he's looking to take down the ace player for Team Liquid. Again, if anyone was going to all kill, it was going to be Cure. But no. Yeah, the answer is no. Not here. As Cure commits in. Oh my god. Massive armor shred. Yeah, massive armor shred here on the Wraiths. There's no Valkyries either. Every Wraith goes down. And with that, there is no army left. GG gets called. GG gets called. And Ryung does take down Cure 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I do like the idea of saving Ryung for Cure here and using him to snipe him. Again, Ryung has some of the best TVT in the world, so it does bring him down. GG, with that, Cure and Ryung will knock each other out of the series. And now both Team Liquid and Onside have to field fresh new players. GG, well played. I'm sure that Ryung would have liked to have 2-0'd instead, but regardless, he did his job. He did his job, he brought down Cure. Now Onside no longer have to worry about Cure as a player. Now we can focus and fixate on some of these other players instead. Let's go. Let us go. Now, for Onside, the downside is that they lost Zoun early. They lost Zoun early on due to him being the first player fielded, and that does mean that now Onside are down to 1 player. Now, if 1 player left, it is going to be Maru. So Maru, he's the only player left here for Onside. Meanwhile, Team Liquid have options. Now, because Maru is the only player remaining, Team Liquid can try to snipe. They can try to send out Clem. I'd say that'd be ill-advised, but Clem could be fielded here. Otherwise, a laser. A laser, I do feel like would probably be the better choice here, or Skilless. I'm a lean towards a laser here, but we'll see. We shall see. Who do we send out? Who's it going to be? Okay, bold move. I would have thought to hold on to this player, but no, it is going to be Clem. So Clem is coming out next year. It's going to be Clem versus Maru in a TVT. Again, I typically do favor Maru in TVT, but this is StarCraft Evolution, not regular SC2, so if Clem has been devoting a little bit of time into playing this mod and practicing, and maybe being inspired by some of this play, we'll see if he does embrace Mass Wraith, and we'll see how he does approach Maru here. Let's go. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Polopoid. And we'll see if Team Liquid can maintain their lead. We'll see if Onside can bring it back. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Polopoid, we have the red Terran player. The red Terran player himself, the SC2 Terran for Onside. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Broodor Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. Here we go. We are going to be opening up. We're going to be settling in here to Polopoid. Welcome to a 4-player small map. You can spawn in top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right as well. But Polopoid is a bit of a more extreme map. You've heard me talk about this map before here. I mean, before I get ahead of myself, of course. TVT, if you've been maybe missing out on StarCraft as of late, if you've not been watching StarCraft over the past week, now 2 weeks, Clem has been returning playing TVT. He is not playing Protoss anymore, at least over the past 2 weeks. We'll see if that trend continues, but on the new patch, on the new current live patch of StarCraft 2, Clem has not been enjoying Protoss versus Terran anywhere near as much, so he's been playing Terran versus Terran instead. And has been having some mixed results and some mixed success with that, of course. Interesting to see that has translated here as well to Clem also playing TVT in StarCraft Evolution. Now, once again, Clem, he typically would be the ace player for Team Liquid in a regular SC2 team league, but because this is StarCraft Evolution, I stand by saying that Cure is the ace. Like Cure, he was the ace player, Cure is now out, and Clem is less experienced and less formidable with his StarCraft Brood War Terran, so we'll see what he can bring to the table here against Maru. I will say that, to be fair, both Maru and Clem are less experienced in StarCraft Evolution, but Maru has been looking more impressive, at least to me, in this game mod. In this mod. For now, though, we're just going to be opening up. We're going to be opening up no SCV Scout for Clem, no SCV Scout for Maru. Very common to skip SCV Scouts in TVT. We do see Maru getting his own CC up and running with CC first. Clem going for a later command center after the racks. So Clem going for more economic, going for a standard opener. Maru being greedy, going for a more economic build instead. So we're going to be opening up. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said that that Clem is less experienced, and we'll see if this pays off. As opposed to all the TVTs and most of the TVTs that we've been watching as of late in this tournament featuring Mass Wraith, Clem is going into Massive Ultra. He's going second factory into a mech style. He is not embracing Mass Wraith. He's going into a more standard mech composition instead, and we'll see if he can take it to Maru here. We'll see if he can gain map control and achieve more than that. For now, Maru's going for his own 1-1-1. See, Clem, in a world of pure Wraith TVT, Clem, he breaks from the meta. Oh. What? So, that's okay. There's a lot going on. So usually when you go into double factory, you go into double factory into vulture production, into vultures, into your machine shop, into ion thrusters, into spider mines. Here, very early tank production, very early tank into a very early armory. Are we going? When I think armory, I think Goliath, which is kind of weird. What's going on? Fast Academy. Yeah, we're going for a Goliath opener. Why? I understand. Like, yeah, it's interesting. So we're going for an early Goliath here. this is like Clem just preparing against anything, because I guess it's because there's no scouting, right? Clem, he has not found Maru. He's scouting every corner. He scouted bottom left, then he scouted top left, now he's scouting bottom right. It looks like Clem is not aware that in StarCraft Evolution, one spawn location is removed, so Clem does check every location and then bottom right. Shows some of the inexperience of Clem. But the early Goliath means that Clem is safe against like Raven Harass or against like Banshee Harass, for example. And the reason why we did open Goliath is because there was zero scouting, right? Zero scouting information, so just being a little bit safer here. Overall, this does mean that Clem's build is weaker. It's a bit of a weaker build. But, you know, safe overall. Meanwhile, third TC out of Maru. Maru's building a bit of greater economy. Scans the main base, confirms additional factories, confirms mech. Sees all the machine shops and also confirms no upgrades. True. And again, it's just a really heavy tank composition. It's just really weird. It's really weird because by opening up tank like this, you're relinquishing any kind of map control. Like, so the reason why when you open up mech, typically it's for a bunch of vultures, is to throw down spider mines, it's to fight for map control, it's to scout as well. But here, really fast tank count, it's almost like, it's not an all-in because we're getting a third CC, but we're going for an early tank push. So early tank move out to Clem. Very committed, very high tech, but also vulnerable as a result. Like, it's a very expensive early army. And Clem is trying to gain ground. Oh, does bait the, okay, baits the army in. Baits in the Cyclone, does one shot. Nice catch out of Clem. And behind this Maru, he should be able to freely expand. Yep, there we go. Third base is now being taken. And this third base here on Polar Point is very awkward and very difficult to maintain. We didn't really get to speak much on the map itself, but again, does have a very thin strip of land here, thin strip of high ground for the third. It means there's no choke point. It means there's just a massive arc and a massive angle of attack. We've seen many a player struggle to defend that third. Maru just expands here on the left hand side, building up his bio, and we're slowing things down. Now, oh good. As we build up into this here, I feel like we're playing against strengths, like Clem's strengths. Like Clem, he's a really fast player. He's probably the fastest. Like he has like faster than Maru, 100%. But he relies a lot on control, unit control, speed, micro, multi-prong aggression. By going into a heavy tank style like this, again, it's like he's taking a lot of those strengths away from himself here and slowing the game down a little bit more. It's giving Maru a lot of freedom. Freedom to do what? 4th CC on location. Right, 4th base is on location, but as Clem has no presence on the map. There's nothing on the map to threaten Maru. So I do like this out of Maru recognizing, of course, the defensive nature of Clem and just going for a fast base. Behind this, throwing down 2 more starports, fighting for the skies, going into triple starport production, into Mass Viking, into Mass Raven. Maru is very, very fond of Mass Raven in TVT. We'll see if we can get there. Clem is setting up. Setting up the bases. Maru claiming his own linear 4th base. Getting up and running. Fusion core is on the way. That should be for a little bit of range. For mass lib. So there we go, making 4 liberators at a time. That's to gain control of the ground. And again, this is just a very heavy tank count here. It's almost pure tank. 19 tanks, only 5 Goliaths. It's going to be very awkward, very difficult for Clem to kind of fight those Volts, so to fight the Liberators. Does set up his 4th base. We have our Vessel on the way. It's being active. And again, Vessels, they can help with Defense Matrix. Can help fortify these siege lines. There's that first disable. Gets 1, gets 2. Yeah, 2 disables Marines, they stim in, but there's still so much more tanks behind this. Yeah, many more tanks. Clem, he defends. Clem is holding. So far, so good. Maru is about to max out, so again, getting his own 5th expansion also on location. 2 more starports. I think that's 5 starports in total. Yes. 5 starports. Librange is finishing. And the double scan here should get eyes on all the starports. Does see the fusion core at least. Yeah, does see the fusion core. So Maru's aware. Sorry, Clem's aware. Does scan. Clem is looking for extra expansions. He does not scout bottom left. But here comes the liberation. The freedom. And again, there's very little anti-air. There's 5 Goliaths. Only 5. Liberators, they siege up, they bully back the Goliaths, and they bully everything. Yeah, liberation. We just liberate everything. Yeah, the freedom zones gets what? 5, 6, 7 tanks. We go for the defense matrix to hold on to those Goliaths, but so many losses here for Clem. And with that, Maru, he's just walking into win. He's just strolling into win here, just free damage. More dead tanks. There's just no answer here to the Liberator. No answer. Again, Clem went almost for a pure tank army. We got 3 Goliaths. They're holding the line. We disable the Goliaths. Disables the Goliaths. They do nothing. The Liberators, they siege up. They bully them back. No, get out of here. The layer disables. We just keep disabling. And with that, Maru, he stims and he wins. He stims and he wins. He stims on through. GG gets called, and Maru, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Maru, he will take a lead in the series. Again, it was an interesting style out of Clem. Very different, very unique. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason why we don't really see too much of that. So again, Clem, he kind of gave up map control very early on. Went for a very high and almost pure tank counts. And Maru, upon recognizing how defensive and how contained Clem was kind of containing himself even, Maru just mass expanded. Got a fast 4th, got a fast 5th base, had a booming economy. With that better economy, went into mass Liberator, mass Starport, 5 Starports at the very end there, going into Liberator Raven, of course. And again, there were only 5 Goliaths. Like, there was barely any anti-air. GG. GG, well played. With that, Maru does take game 1. Now we're going to be loading the game number 2. Going to be loading into Polopoid. Let's go. Oh, and then let's go. We're back. And it makes sense. Because we don't have an 8 worker count starts spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Polopoid. We have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing on side, leading the series 1-0. It is Maru. And spawning in the top left hand corner, doing what he does best. Let's go. After playing his main race, we do have the French Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss. For Team Liquid, it is Clem. This confirms it for me. Let's go. Let us go. We're back to Protoss. Now, what I mean by that, what I'm referring to, I just mentioned it. Over the past 2 weeks, Clem has stopped playing TVP or PVT. He stopped playing Protoss. A big reason for that is because the worker count changed. I don't know if you noticed, but in StarCraft Evolution, they have not actually gone through that worker count change. You still start with 12 workers. It is still pre-patch. Like, SC2 is pre-patch. They decided not to go forward with the new changes that Blizzard has proposed. So as a result, that means that, hey, it's the old version of Protoss, and Clem can embrace it. It's like, I missed you, Pappy. I missed you. You know, there's no like payment for there's no like gateway changes here. There's no economy changes. Ah. Back to his tried and true Protoss. Let's go. So yeah, going to be opening up. Main race called, yes, Protoss is like, Clem is the best Terran in the world, and his main race is also Protoss. True. Kappa. He's both bad. As for now, we're going to be opening up Rax Expand. Standard opening here at Maru. We do have cross spawns, by the way. Cross spawn location here between Clem and Maru. Clem does find Maru. Maru so far no scouts. No SCV scouts. Maru's unaware as to what's going on. He's unawares. Here we go. And we'll see how Maru will adjust here to TVP. Now, when it comes to TVP, we often do see 3x dim timings. The fact that we don't see a 3x, we have been seeing some mass Wraith play against Protoss. I'm curious to see if Maru is going to embrace that. Do we go Starport into second Starport? Nah, Machine Shop. Okay, going for the Machine Shop here. So we're going to be opening up into Mech. We're going for a Mech-based opener and a Mech-based build. Here we go. As this is going to be a Twilight Council here out of Clem. Spider Mines are amassing. So it's going to be a Vulture opener with Spider Mines, but less Vultures due to only having one factory into Wraith play. So Vulture Wraith. No, my apologies. Well, we're going for a drop. Are we going for both? Like, why get the control tower? Okay, yeah, going for both. So drop first, then into the tower, into the upgrade, then into Wraiths. It's a very tech-heavy build here. Very, very tech-heavy opener at Maru. And because of that, this needs to get damage done. Hallucination Scouts confirms the dropship. Big scout here for Maru, or sorry, for Clem. Does confirm, does also get eyes on the control tower. But more importantly, he saw the drop. Yeah, second factory's on the way. In the end, Cloak is cancelled. So cancels Cloak, cancels the second dropship. Wants to force an overreaction. And the drop is coming. And jump into the main. Clem is ready. Clem is getting in position. Vultures are making their way into the mineral line. And we're going to get some probe kills. Oh, let's pull a couple of boys. Spider Mines they set up, they zone away the army. Oh, yeah, they do zone away. And I don't know if Clem realizes that these Spider Mines don't trigger on workers. Yeah, he doesn't know. The inexperience, yeah, inexperience is kicking in here. 7 probes going to be going down, critical damage. Basically, you saw Clem split all of his workers against the mines, and he tried to bait out the shots, but Spider Mines, they don't trigger on workers. So a little bit of an experience here with that. 10 probes do go down. Some heavy losses for Clem. Ay. Losing not just 10 workers, but also 2 stalkers and a sentry. Oh no! Oh my god, another stalker goes down. Down to 2. Yeah, down to 2 stalkers. And with that, despite Maru having a bit of a messy or a bit of an interesting build, it's worth it. So far, it's been worth it. Third TC is on the way, extra factories, more mech. He be meching it up, pappy. Here we go. Maru does break in. Does break in. Does pull away. Just keeping tabs here on his opponents, building up more tanks, building up more vultures, and Maru's going to slow things down. After a chaotic and intense start, we're going to slow things down, building up our third base. Third base is getting up and running, at the same time going for another drop into the main. Wraith gets caught. But the drop is moving out. Yeah, moving out with the drop. Likewise, science also behind this into Raven production. So I say Raven into science vessels. I would imagine. So, because they blink into the main. They blink in. SCVs are going to be going down. Seeing 4 Stalkers not one-shot an SCV it's trippy, not going to lie. As tanks I see up in the middle line. Oh my god. No second shots, thankfully. No. And no second shot. At the same time, Stalkers are poking towards left hand side as well. Clem being active here on both fronts. Killing more SCVs. Yeah, more workers falling. Diving on the tank as well. Very nice catch. Tank goes down. SCVs as well. And Maru's being torn apart. He's being torn apart here. SCVs are falling. Going further back into the mineral line. Maru has nothing across the map. Yeah, he came back home. He came back home to defend instead. That's going to be 11 SCVs and the dropship as well. Very nice. Yeah, 12 SCV kills. Splits here against the vultures. Doing those shots. Oh. Ooh, does try to. Yeah, tries to. Shot still connects. And 1 Stalker gets away. Just barely 1 Stalker. At the same time, Clem still moving in. No charge, not yet. Still 10 seconds away. Still no charge, but again, Clem, he does trade well. It doesn't quite break through. Maru barely holding. And as the dust settles, despite the early game economic damage with the initial vulture drop, Clem is now ahead economically. Yeah, he's now ahead. As I say that though, vultures, they do hit the 4th base. Probe's going to be going down. Clem turns back around. 8 probes. You're going to lose 8 workers. At the same time, does catch out some of the vultures. At the same time, going for his own zealot run by. Ooh, there's a full wall. Yeah, full wall off. Zealots, they don't get in. Yeah, they run into a siege line instead. So nice Sim City here by Maru. Maru, he does defend. Clem's still trying to be more active. And you can see the dynamic change here, or the momentum, the tempo be so different from game 1 to game 2, where Clem is able to be more active, able to be more aggressive. Doesn't want to just stay back and turtle up. As I mentioned, game 1 was not Clem playing to his strengths. But here he is. Diving back into the main. Oh, the tanks though. Oof, oh my god, insane tank shots. That's crazy. You gotta respect the tanks, baby. Yeah, Clem bleeding out Stalkers. Heavy loss for Clem. Losing so much to the tanks. And this feels like too much. Feels like too many losses here for Clem. As these Stalkers are expensive. Expensive losses. Pulling further back. I have to keep stopping myself from panning over to the northern bases because, I don't know if you can see on the minimap, there are some red dots. It's spider mines from earlier. Like, spider mines is just here borrowed. And like my brain wants to tell me like, oh, there's like a drop with, there's like a run by. It's like, no, it's just just spider mines. Remember, they don't trigger on workers. As Maru's stabilizing. Again, Clem was just being overly aggressive. Initially, it was worth it, and then Clem lost like 8 Stalkers in the main base. Like he did overextend, did lose too much. Clem sticking with a gateway heavy composition. Disruptor has arrived. We've got 2 disruptors so far. And Clem, he will intercept. Has to be careful though. Cannot blink in. Jesus. Yeah, so many zealots go down. It's so much more difficult for Protoss to like punish mech when it comes to brutal mech because of the spider mine. Like there's just so much here to punish zealots and stalkers diving into a siege position, or even an unsiege position. So much more difficult. Like the spider mine changes everything when it comes to mech and TVP. It's just easier for the Terran player to turtle up and to fortify these positions due to this minefield protecting the tanks. So a very different dynamic. Which we saw from Zoun earlier in the series, if you remember. Like, Zoun also had a hard time pushing into mech in his series versus Kira. And he had a late transition to Skytoss. Like, we never quite got there. Now we see the Stargate. This also feels late, though. Like again, I feel like we needed this maybe a little bit sooner. Clem is being active at least. But Clem has to buy time for his Fleet Beacon and for that Skytoss transition. Buy time. This is going up. Nice cleanup. And nice cleanup here on the mines. Oh, Observer rallies in. And as they catch out more mines. So Romai doesn't really achieve too much here, and Vultures they break out. Uh-oh. Vultures they break out across the map. And Clem's still trying to be active. Vultures they get into the mineral line. Probes are going to be going down. Probes they kill. They die so quickly here to the Vultures. Oof. Even punishing the warp in. Unable to wall off in time. Yeah, Vultures are so annoying to deal with. I mean, they're so much superior to Heli and Harass and Heli Rumbais because of the Spider Mine as well. Like, the Spider Mines make it so difficult for the harassing army, for the defending army to engage. 21 probe kills, insane damage here from the Vulture. Oof. Oh, the Spider Mines. Oh, SCV's clumping up. We got some counter damage. Some damage here. Clem's being cornered. Uh-oh. No! Clemmy moves in. The Disruptors. A couple of Novas connect. And Novas do connect. Gateway army coming from behind. Ooh, running into Spider Mines. Oh god, the mines, they just punish the flanking army completely. And Maru's done it. At this point, Maru's done it. He defends. He just annihilates the army. He's breaking out across the map. He's maxed. I did like Clem's play better than Zoun. That's true. I did appreciate like Clem being more active, more aggressive, switching to Disruptors. But again, had a really hard time dealing with the Vulture counterattacks, the run-bys, and we never saw that transition into Skytoss. Never quite got there. Get some decent Novas here towards the end. But Maru's not being stopped. Oh. Oof. Yeah, there's some decent Novas. Tanks are on siege. Yeah, tanks are on siege. Oh, but Disruptors, they do roll in. Yeah, they do move into the army. That's going to be 3-4 Disruptors going down. Second siege line punishes the Stalkers. There are just so many tanks. And the mech army is moving in. Yeah, mech army is moving in, just dominating the fight. Punishing the attempt to harass. Catching at the Disruptors. Oof. GG gets called, and with that, Maru, he will claim the series 2-0. He will take down Clem and extend the lead here for onside. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Maru. He will claim the 2-0. He will claim the 2-0 here, once again winning it back. Clem, I did appreciate his PvT a lot more than Zoun's game earlier against Cure. That is true, but we did see a lot of the inexperience showing here, where I would say one too many times Clem underestimated the threat of the tanks and would take some massive tank shots to the face, which would cost him a lot of units, by the way. On top of that, we saw the Stalker harass was less effective because full Stalkers do not one-shot SCVs in StarCraft Evolution, so some less successful harass. Likewise, the mine defense as well. We saw that to me, it was apparent that Clem was unfamiliar with how the Spider-Man worked when it came to the initial Vulture harass. That's why we saw like all the delayed mining time, the split workers trying to bait out shots, and again a very messy defense as well. So again, I feel like all of this just shows some of the inexperience of Clem in specifically this game mode, and Maru able to snowball out of control, build out that mech army. GG well played. And again, you saw just how difficult it is to deal with mass Vulture. Like Vultures, they kill workers so quickly because of spider mines as well. They're such a strong supportive unit, and you can see like just how different mech is here compared to SC2 mech, and why SC2 mech is so much less viable against Protoss. Here in StarCraft Evolution, like you can have a much stronger harassing force, a stronger defense as well. Like the Vulture is just a really strong supportive unit, very strong supportive unit. And it's something that's missing from SC2 mech, of course, which whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know, that comes down to your opinion, but GG all played. With that, Maru does claim the 2-0, Maru stays on, and who does Team Liquid send out next? Oh boy, okay, so far, who have we sent out here? So Cure, he initially had the win streak, then we went into Clem. We still have either a laser or Skilless. So I have a laser or skills remaining. Who do I have a little bit more faith in here? A laser was looking really scary. I think a laser does have a pretty good chance of bringing down Maru. It's just we can only send out one. So in my mind, a laser would make more sense here, but who's it going to be? Team Liquid. Yep, there we go. A laser. A laser is being sent out. He's a very strong Zerg player in SC Evolution. I do think he has a very strong chance here against Maru. I'm just curious to see if Maru plays mech or plays bio. Like, how does Maru open up? Especially, as we load into match point. Let's go. We're loading into match point. Catching up. Oh, este lechito, papi. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ah, papi, God. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yo, hope you're ready for some Brood War, papi. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of match point, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing onside. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, the SC2 Zerg, it is a laser. Tell them I'm the biggest fan. You're an animal, Lechito. You're an animal. Well, let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our best of two on match point. Once again, because it's the best of two, the way this format works here, if we tie 1-1, our players knock each other out. Otherwise, 2-0 will secure a win, a point for said team. And I'm curious to see how Maru does open up here. Again, we got to see some of Maru's mech against Protoss. Against Zerg, do we see mech again, or do we go into a more biocentric build? Remember, it is quite standard to go CC first into 3 maxes into an early stim timing. We'll see if Maru does embrace that or not. So far though, CC first. So early economy here, greedier build out of Maru. Setting up his wall here outside of his natural. Meanwhile, Laser going for his own hatch pool opener, delayed gas out of a laser. Interesting. Okay, so going for a later gas geyser. Usually this means that we're going to be going into like later link speed. We might even go into an earlier layer, just because we're going to be holding onto that gas and spending it a little bit later here. So we'll see if a laser does go into link speed or does save his gas for a faster layer instead. Or even an earlier roach form. Maybe. So we'll keep it on the laser. Airload is moving out. And again, welcome to Match Point. Match Point is a very interesting map of the map pool. Short rush distance. Has a very short rush distance by ground. Very direct as well. Going just one straight line from side to side. I will say, of course, there's a lot of points of elevation. There's a lot of high ground. So you have high ground here outside of your natural base. You do have some points of elevation here in the center as well. So you can engage ahead of time. I would say that your natural's relatively secure. The third base, though, is very difficult to defend. do you notice something here at the third? High ground. there's high ground right next to the third base. So imagine tanks, imagine lurkers, imagine any kind of unit up here. You are within range of the CC or the hatchery or the Nexus. So again, fighting for the high ground and fighting for this high ground location here is very important, because if you get forced back defensively to your own third expansion, you will lose workers. You will lose workers, and you might even lose the base. Double starport. Okay. This was not an option. I was thinking like 2-3 rank stim timing. I was thinking double factory vulture. We're going double starport mass wraith. Okay, mass wraith out of Maru with mass starport. Overlord pokes in. Overlord does not confirm. Meanwhile, do you remember what we said at the start of the game? We did take notice of the late gas, and we were like, there's a high chance he skips link speed. He is skipping link speed. Very fast lair into a Roach Warren. Now, this might just be a safety Roach Warren because this lair is so fast. 2 base mutas on the table. This could be 2 base muta, and I'm thinking 2 base muta versus Wraith. Like, that'd be okay. There's potential here, but we'll see. Remember, a laser failed to scout. A laser, the Overlord went in. The Overlord did go down, right? Yeah. The Overlord was hunted down. The Overlord went in and didn't see anything. Did not confirm behind the base. This is a very unorthodox build, and currently Laser has no idea what's going on. We can see a laser making some safety roaches here, and if a laser does skip anti-air and does go into a roach heavy style, then Race will have their way with a laser's economy. Currently 0 spores. 0 spores and only 2 queens, and we have the answer here. It is not 2 base muta. It's not muta, it's going to be 2 base Hydra. Crazy. But again, how many queens? 3. Only 3 queens, so a very low queen count and no spores either. Wraiths, as we speak, are building up. We're building up the Wraiths as we speak. They're amassing up back at home, and so far, unscouted, but here comes the Overseer. Okay, the Overseer does move into the main base. At the same time, Wraiths are moving out across the map. A laser, he will get a full scout. He will confirm. Now he knows. Yeah, now a laser knows, and behind this, we should react with some spores. Queens that respond. First Overlord goes down. Nice snipe. Does catch an Overlord, release the queens. They do defend the mineral line. Hydras are amassing. Now, we're skipping spores. We're choosing to skip spores because we're going to try to defend with queens and hydras. There is going to be a lot of anti-air with the Hydra tech. And we'll see if we can keep up. We'll see if a laser can keep up. Back at home, more Wraiths are amassing. We do have Siege Mode being researched, building up into tanks. Building up our tank count. Exclamation mark rules. We should probably make a format command. That'd be fun. For sure. Oh. Erase, they move in. Yeah, they move in and they do catch a queen. Yeah, the queen got trapped. Oh no. Yeah, got trapped in. No transfuse. Queen goes down. Overseer as well. Nice damage so far. Now we're going for the Hydras. No detection. No shot. 0 detection. Free damage on the Hydras. 2-3 Hydras go down. Overseer's almost done. Oof. And the Overseer will complete. But again, nice snipe there by Maru, diving in, sniping the Overseer, denying detection. Cheeky moves out of Maru. Cheeky, pappy, cheeky. And Maru's claiming a third. He's claiming a third base. Now, what's scary here is that typically the Zerg player wants to be up in expansion, up in workers. Because this is a 2-base heavy tech opener, a laser, his economy is not what it needs to be here. We're not really set up for a longer game. This feels like a 2-base all-in. It feels like an all-in here. We're going into Overlord speed as well. This would be for Doom Drop. There's no reason to get Overlord speed without that. Or otherwise. And you can see a laser, intentionally, no drones. You can see here a laser, he's not droning. He's not droning up. Mass Ling, Mass Hydra into Overlord speed, into potentially Dropper Lords, into just a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing. Now back at home, what does Maru have? Maru, he has 4 tanks, 7 Marines. There's no stim yet. It's on the way. It is going to be Bio Tank out of Maru. Does have all his tanks centralized here at the third. Again, it is mainly Wraith. And this is it. It's all or nothing. Army does dive in. Overseer's going to keep him safe. Gets one tank, gets one, gets two. Yeah, 2 tanks go down. The boys are being pulled, but the tank line is brutal here. Oh my god. Pushing into 5 tanks. He could not break through. Yeah, Laser could not break through. He's being chased down. Stim is done in 2 seconds. Maru has the greater economy. Does lose 6 SCVs, but still far ahead. And again, it's all or nothing for a Laser. As time goes on, though, now Stim is done. Yeah, there's Stim. Stim is activated. Boys are being pulled. 1 tank goes down. Hydras are exposed. Oof. Yeah, the Hydras are on their own. They're being focused down one after the other, and a Laser here will lose almost everything. Down to 5 Hydras. And Maru's just chilling. Building on more tanks. Still far ahead in workers, 66 to 51. Oh, the tank does siege. And a Laser, oof, he's forced back. He's forced back home. Yeah, Laser backs off. Still no droning, still no saturation. It's too late, right? Like, you cannot macro out of this position. And Maru, he confirms. Yeah, he confirms. No drones, no saturation. Bunkers would be ideal here. We do get some depots to create a bit of a choke point. Yep, more depots on the way. This ensures when links try to collapse in, they will clump up. Oh, Maru getting a little bit cavalier. Yeah, calm down, Maru. We don't want to fight out of range of the tanks. So Maru has to pull back. Yo, we got a radiate on the way. It's getting ready to irradiate. A Laser moves in. And he commits. Yeah, he commits in. Every link goes down. Again, the choke point is brutal here. The Sim City, the tanks, they pop off against the Hydras. Almost every Hydra's going to be going down. GG. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Maru takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Maru, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game here by Laser. A very cheeky start out of Maru, going double starport, going mass wraith. He was able to pick off the first queen, catch some Hydras, pick off the economy. More importantly, scout as well. Confirm the crazy build that Laser was going for. I feel like we were focusing a lot on Maru. Laser was going 2-base Hydra. That's so rare. It's so rare to go 2-base Hydra. It was going 2-base Hydra into a Ling Hydra all-in. An all-in makes sense on match point. We did mention that it's a small map, short rush distance, high ground outside of the 3rd base, but it was a delayed all-in, and we saw that Maru, he popped off with those tanks. Like, those tanks that were further back behind his army, they got so much value, so much damage. Likewise, SimCity as well, choking up the army, clumping everything up as well, and it felt like a Laser, he kind of missed his window of opportunity, and GG. GG all played. With that, Maru does take a lead. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Now the roles have been reversed, it is time for a Laser to embrace Brood War Zerg. Oh boy. But if you're just not tuning in, if you're curious about the formats, bearing in mind, of course, this is StarCraft Evolution. SC Evo is a Brood War / SC2 mod where Brood War and SC2, they face off against each other in a 1v1 format. The tournament is Crank Gathers. It's a team league, so this is Team Liquid versus Onside. Team Liquid versus Onside, so it is a team league here. Currently, Onside are looking to gain a lead in the series, and we'll see if they can. Spawning in the left-hand corner of match point, we do have the Red Terran player. We have the Red Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran, the SC2 Terran. It is Maru for Onside. And spawning in the top right corner, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg. Oh, going pool first. Representing Team Liquid, it is a Laser. Let's go. Let us go. So if you're curious about the format, we're currently down to our last 2 players, a Laser and Maru. Remember, for Team Liquid, Cure and Clem have already been knocked out, so a Laser is their final player. Meanwhile, for Onside, Ryung and Zoun have been knocked out. Maru is the final player. Now, I say final player here. If a Laser wins this game, and if they knock each other out, then we're tied up completely, and it comes down to an ace match where both teams get to revive a player. They get to revive. Otherwise, if it's a 2-0 in Maru's direction, where he's already up 1-0 here, then Team Liquid will have to revive, and on side, they still have a revive available to them. They can hold on to that revive and use it afterwards. And Team Liquid would have to burn it early. Fit out, Jesus. Yo, we spoke about the 2-base Hydra play last game. Now we see the fast Hydra Den here as well. So rushing into the Hydra Den. I believe skipping link speed. Yes, skipping link speed into the fast Hydra Den, into a double expand. Bearing in mind that, remember, for Brood War Zerg, you do not need a lair for Hydra tech. It is hatch based. So going for the Hydra Den, building up those early upgrades, and going for early Hydra production. Meanwhile, Maru's just now moving out. Maru, he himself did go for a bit of a safer build. I say safer build, did go 2-Rack Reaper. So 2-Rack Reaper out of Maru. Moving out across the map. Hydras, they should be able to hold on to themselves and defend. Yeah. Hydras are revealed, so nice scouting here by Maru. Does confirm the early tech. And I feel like there's a high chance that Lace is going to go for an all-in again. There's a very high chance. As Reapers I pick in. Laser, he's at least joining up his natural. Joining up a little bit. So somewhat joining, somewhat saturating. Reapers, they pull away behind this. We're going for extra 3 racks. He's going for 5 racks 2-base. Jeez, crazy. Going for a 5 racks. So 5 racks 2-base all in here by Maru, going to a heavy bio army into an early stim timing. Bearing in mind that Brood War Zerg do not have Banelings, right? There are no Banelings, so it's going to be a Ling Hydra army here for a laser. And Mass Bio can trade very well against Ling Hydra. Oof. Yeah, already the Mass Reaper, though, picking off 1, 2. Hydra's already going to be going down, getting 3, getting 4. Expensive losses here for a laser. 5 Hydras go down. Losing every Hydra. Every Hydra list falls. Ay. No Ling support, no Ling speed. Hydras, they just get bullied by the Reapers. They get bullied, man. Yeah, every Hydra's going to be going down. And remember, it's a 1-2 punch. Like, sure, the Hydras are trading. These are so much better trades though for Maru, because behind this, Mass Buyer, early stim. Remember, we're going for that stim timing, building up into that 5 racks. And now there's going to be that much less to defend back at home. A laser, he lost how many? He lost 8 Hydralists in total. Insane losses there. 8 Hydras went down. Weaker army, weaker defense. A laser's trying to recover, trying to redrone, resaturate. And this sim timing is going to hit like a truck. Yeah. So now Maru again, he's just amassing up his Marines here on top of the ramp. We got how many so far? 19! 19 Marines against 7 Hydras. Zerek plays, look away, a laser supply block, no, the laser lords. Now is not the time. It's on brand, but now is not the time for a supply block. Here we go, here come the Marines. Look away, Pappy, look away, as we're about to stim, and we're about to win. Stim is finishing up in 2 seconds. 2, 1, stim is outdone. Combat shield's finishing up as well. Now we can rush. Now we can rush in. Yeah, the boys. 2-base all in. The boys are here as well. The boys have arrived. We're diving on the Hydras. We're all going to go down. There's barely any Hydras to begin with. A laser has to pull the boys himself. He's got to pull them. And we're going further into the main. We're just going further into the main base. A laser pulling further back, trying to build up more Hydras. Lair is cancelled for a refund. Ooh, drones, they get caught out. Yeah, some heavy losses there for a laser. And again, the Marines, they stim on top of the Hydras. Hydras, they try to kite away. And they all go down. They all go down. Every Hydralisk will fall, and the drones as well. And with that, GG gets called. Maru, he will take a 2-0 series. He will take down a laser 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very rough start for a laser. Going into an early Hydroden, skipping Link speed did mean that his Hydras were more exposed. We did see 2x Reaper out of Maru, and he dominated those Hydras early on. With that Link support, the Hydras are so fragile, they're so vulnerable, and we saw 8 Hydras go down early on, and Maru was setting up for the 1-2 punch. Killed 8 Hydras and bam, 2 base all in. 2 base all in, 5 racks set up on 2 bases, did pull the boys as well, hit with stim and combat shields, and with that, Maru, he snowballed out of control. Because of the early losses, we saw that Laser could not maintain himself, he could not defend, he had no chance to because of that early game damage. Brutal, brutal. GG, well played. With that, Maru, he will claim the 2-0, and that means that Team Liquid, they're up to their final player. 1 player left here. They have to revive. They have to revive a player. Now, when it comes to Team Liquid, we have Clem, we have a Laser, we have Cure. What do we say? Cure, he is the ace player. He's the ace player for Team Liquid in StarCraft Evolution. So in my mind, Cure is the clear pick here. He's the clear pick to go up against Maru. In my mind, he's the only one that can bring him down. Oh boy. And we'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. No, whoa! Yo, they're crazy. So I'm like, Cure, he's the clear pick, right? Like, we're gonna use him, right? No, they're reviving a laser. Okay. A laser is being revived here. He wants another go, papi. Okay. He wants another chance. We're loading into Blackrock. Oh boy, bold move. Now, this kind of makes sense. If a laser, I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense if we go to the super ace match. If we go to the ace match, then they can use Cure. Remember, you cannot use a revived player in the ace match, but we are putting a lot of faith here in a laser to kind of to bring us to the ace match and to bring us into that Cure series, if at all possible. Let's go. We're gonna run it back. We're gonna run it back here. A laser has returned as Brood War Zerg. Okay. Bold move, Team Liquid. Bold move. And spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Blackrock, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg. He's back. He has been revived for this next game, representing Team Liquid. He needs the 2-0. He needs the 2-0 here now to force a revive out of onside. It is a laser. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, there you go. Bottom left-hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran, the SC2 Terran. For onside, it is Maru. Oh, sorry, I think I pressed the wrong button. There we go. It's all good. But here we go. Welcome to Blackrock. Blackrock, of course, is an interesting map in the map pool. Does have an open and exposed 3rd and 4th expansion here. So open bases, exposed expansions can make it difficult to defend and be the defending player in the mid game for sure. Can be difficult to defend. But once again, 2x Reaper. So 2x Reaper out of Maru, and once again the laser does go So last game he went pool first. This time gas first. Early gas into a pool, into a delayed expansion. Because the gas is so early, I'm thinking Link Flood. I'm thinking early Link speed. So early gas typically means early Link speed. We'll see if a laser does embrace that. Let's go. Let us go. As Reapers are going to be amassing. No! Early gas into, once again, early Hydrogen. Never mind. I believe this is faster than last game, if I recall correctly. So earlier Hydrogen, I'm getting deja vu. Now, because of the way this format works here, Team Liquid, they're up against the wall, they're on match point. They just spent the revive on a laser. A laser needs to 2-0. If a laser loses game 1, then that's it. Then onside will win this series. If a laser wins game 1 and then loses game 2, it's also over. Like, a laser needs to 2-0. we go. As again, they've already spent their revive on a laser. Reaper does poke in. It does poke in, does scout the early Hydra. So once again, early Hydra production out of a laser. Into, I believe, an earlier upgrade this time. Because of the earlier gas. So I believe it is earlier upgrades. Earlier tech. Potentially a stronger timing. Once again, we're building up that Reaper count. Or he wants those Hydras. Oh. And Hydras do get low. But so far, no kills. So far, no kills. Reapers epic further in. Don't quite manage to catch a Hydra. And just poking forward. Behind this, double expanding, going for his own natural and his third. Oh, sorry, my apologies. It was 3x. Yeah, 3x Reaper. I assumed it was 2. I was so fixated here on the Hydras. But 3x Reaper, so mass Reaper here out of Maru, going for a 4th and then a 5th Rax behind this. Non-stop Reaper production. And Alace's droning. You can see actually that Maru, he's on the cusp. He's on the cusp of overwhelming. Laser, he's got to be careful here. The reason why I say this is because Maru's army is getting bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, a laser, he is droning. He's in the midst of droning up, so his Hydra count is still relatively small. Laser's got to be careful. We have 9 Reapers against 8 Hydras. But 2 more about to pop. Reapers, they rotate. Behind this, double eBay, double upgrades into 1-1. Maru trying to rotate. Hydras are keeping up. Thankfully, Laser makes some extra Hydras. And Laser should be able to hold. Okay, should be able to hold on at the same time. We go for the mineral line. Oh my god. Got to kill him to cancel the Eva chamber. KDA charges, they do not connect. And Laser's holding. Whew. So a stronger start here for a laser compared to last game. So far, stronger starts. Once again, making use of that tall grass. Reapers, they rotate. They find the expansion. They will force a cancel. 2 more volleys. Kills the drone. Kills the worker. Pulls away. We're going into mass... Yo, Maru, he's been watching some Uwu thermal VODs. Like, what? Someone send this video to you thermal, baby. Ay, ay, ay. Yo, Mark. I think I got a Euthermal fan. I think he's going Mass Reaper. I thought he was going to switch into Stim, into Bio. Like, into a Bio follow-up. No, no, no. Mass Reaper, baby. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Okay, I mean, he's going to hit with 1-1. He's making 6 Reapers at a time. Now, again, this works specifically against a laser because there's no Ling speed. Usually, how do you deal with Mass Reaper? Lings do a great job at buffering, at locking down the army and chasing down the Reapers. But because the laser does not have Ling speed, he has no Ling support, it's pure Hydra. Hydras have a much more awkward time dealing with Reapers. It's much more awkward. So this is a unique dynamic here to StarCraft Evolution. And also specifically because the laser did skip Ling speed. Yeah, now we overwhelm. Now we can just dive in. We break through one of the flanks. So here we do pull away. That's gonna be how many? That's gonna be 11 Hydras going down. 11 Hydras for 9 Reapers. Almost a 1-to-1 trade. Almost. Oh! One more Reaper gets caught. And Maru has to back off. And there's that bio switch. I was expecting this earlier. Stim is on the way. Now we're switching to Marines. Before that happens, oh my god. Yeah, catching out more of these Hydras. Heavy losses for Laser. Gets caught out. He gets caught out. And we don't even need the Marines. The Mass Reaper will excel. Breaks through all the Hydras. Does catch a Laser with his pants down. Laser, he was droning up behind this. He will lose all the Hydras, the main army. He will lose everything. And with that, Maru has done it. Again, he had no faith. He made that switch into Marine, but really he could have just doubled down. I mean, in the end, he breaks through anyway. He breaks through. Didn't even need the Marines. Didn't even need Stim. The Mass Reaper backy. Yeah, with that 19 drone kills, GG gets called, and with style, Maru, he will claim the series, and he'll win it all for onside. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Almost like a build order win here for Maru. Almost. What I mean by that is, remember, the reason why this was able to work here and why we saw this in game 2, not game 1, is because in game 1 we saw 2-max Reaper as an opener into Stim, but Maru, he realized that his Reapers did a lot of damage. Remember, he lost 4 Reapers for 8 Hydras. Like it was a 2-to-1 trade. Like he traded very, very well in game 1. So coming to game 2, as soon as he realized that his opponent was going into the same build and skipping Ling speed and skipping Lings and going pure mass Hydra, he doubled down. He went 3-Rax Reaper into 5-Rax Reaper, and he did not stop. Reaper production. And because there was no supportive units there for the Hydras, it was purely drones alongside Hydra tech, no Link speed, no Link support, no Lurker tech, for example, no nothing, just purely vanilla Hydras. We saw that the Mass Reaper was able to overwhelm, was able to punish, was able to brutalize. Maru, towards the end, he did feel like maybe it was time to transition out, especially after the first engagement, after the first fight. But thankfully for Maru, a laser did not remake those Hydras. He droned up behind it, so he stayed on a very low Hydra count, and he was overwhelmed. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Maru. He will claim the game and claim the series. Onside, take down Team Liquid. GG. GG, well played. Just needed a queen to one-side the Reapers? Not at all. Remember, this is off of a 2-base economy, so no, the queens will not get involved. Making the assumption that was a serious statement. Otherwise, it was a joke. Sure, just needed some devourers, bappy. Kappa. But GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Maru. He does claim the series here, and let's catch up on the overall matchup. Let's go. But as we mentioned, the reason why this could work is because there was no Link support, because we had skipped Link speed, and it was just pure vanilla Hydra. Just to re-emphasize. But let's catch up on the matchup. Let's catch up on the bracket itself. Un momento. I'll post a link in the chat. Post it over on YouTube. And post it over in Twitch. Okay. Here we go. So I did just post a link in the chat channels here. Bam! As you can see, we do have the bracket. The bracket has been progressing, of course, or has progressed, and we just covered the upper bracket finals. You can see here on side, they 4-2 Team Liquid. Going into the matchup itself. Oh. Not quite working for us, actually. Hold on. It's kind of weird. But outside the takedown Team Liquid 4-2, bearing in mind that for Team Liquid we did have Cure and he was excelling in his own respective. There we go. Looks like there was a weird bug. But as you can see here, it all began with Cure. Cure, he 2-0'd Zoun. He 2-0'd Zoun initially in their best of 2. So he took down Zoun 2-0. Then Ryung, the TVT sniper. Great choice, by the way. Ryung did take down Cure 1-1, so they knocked each other out. Here, which meant that both teams had to field fresh players. We had Maru, who's the final player here for onside, and Clem was sent out for Team Liquid. Maru did take down Clem 2-0. You can see Clem playing Terran in game 1, Protoss in game 2. Then we sent out a laser. Also got taken down 2-0, and then we revived a laser here for that final game, where Maru did just take him down on Blackrock. GG, well played. Again, I do feel like Cure would have been a stronger choice here as a revive. I do actually prefer Cure's TVT to Maru. But it's possible they might have been thinking further ahead about the ace match and saving Cure for the ace match instead. Or maybe Cure just wasn't feeling too confident, specifically in StarCraft Evolution. I might favor Cure in regular SC2 TVT over Maru, but SC Evo is a different beast, right? True, it is a different beast, and maybe they weren't feeling too confident. Maybe Alasia was feeling more confident in his own all-in, of course, and of course, last thing you expect is Mass Reaper to be hitting your face. So GG well played. With that onside, they will advance on to the grand finals, and they're waiting for the winner of Team Liquid and CRHB. This series will be played, as you can see here, in a week, or in 5 days. In 5 days time is going to be Team Liquid versus CRHB. So next week is going to be the lower bracket finals, and then the grand finals. Again, that'll be next week, day 3 and day 4 of the playoffs respectively. 1 series per day. And we'll be here. We'll be here next week to cover the lower bracket finals and the grand finals as well. We'll be here all over those matches. So again, it is a team league format. Between Team Liquid and CRHB, I still do feel like CRHB are the strongest team in the league. If you don't know who CRHB is, that is Classic, that is Solar, Hero, and Shin. That is the 4 players that construct that team. A very heavy hitting team, and it's going to be a tough one there for Team Liquid, but we're wishing the best. Wishing the best here. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a series. That's what we're hoping for. Otherwise, if you missed out on the VODs, if you missed out on yesterday's VOD of the lower bracket semis, or if you missed out on the group stage, or even the qualifiers, I do recommend the VODs. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. We do stream on a daily basis here, and we did cover all of the, I believe we're the only English channel to cover the group stage and the qualifiers and the playoffs as well, so you can check it out over on YouTube. The VODs are available. Yeah, VODs are available. Otherwise, a big shout out to Crank. Crank, of course, he is organizing the event. He's casting the event in Korean. I believe that Crank, he casted yesterday with Maru. I don't know who he casted with today. I'm not too sure who was Crank's co-caster today, but I know that yesterday, for day 1 of the playoffs, he was casting alongside Maru. I might just get some confirmation a little bit later for who was casted within day number 2. But again, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Also, a big shout out to Chijik. Chijik, they are the main sponsors of the event as well. The reason why we're covering this via replays is because it can only be live casted on the Chijik streaming platform. It's a Korean streaming platform. We're live there right now, but it's difficult for foreigners to make their way there. Like international viewers, they have a hard time watching on Chijik. It's not a very friendly platform for those outside of Korea. I mean, it's very Korean-centric, of course, so it's difficult to kind of find your way there, navigate there, and then find the stream. So instead, we cover it via replays instead. Just as a heads up. So with that, we're wrapping up for the day. For the morning, I should say. As you can see here on the schedule, on our schedule, Saturday morning, we just finished Crank Gathers. Saturday evening, RSL. This evening and tomorrow evening, RSL is going to be available, or is going to be covered here. That is the playoffs. So we're going to be co-streaming the playoffs here on the channel, so a lot more StarCraft to come. Originally, we were going to be covering KSL today, but KSL is just now beginning, and the time between the end of KSL and RSL is very short. And right now, if you've been watching the channel over the past 2 weeks, you would know that I've been a little bit sick. That's why I did miss casting on Monday and Tuesday earlier this week. My throat was very sore and was swelling up, and then I could barely even speak. So I was resting, recovering, trying to get better, of course. So we missed out on casting earlier this week, and even now, I don't know if you can hear it, but like my voice is still a little bit raspy. It's still not at 100%. Still trying to recover. So did want to have some time in between casts to rest up. So the idea of casting KSL into RSL would leave a little bit. It would not leave enough time in between. So we're gonna calm down, take it slow. Most likely we'll be covering KSL via replays. We'll cover KSL via replays at a later date, but KSL is just now beginning, and give some love to Chicken Man. Chicken Man, he's retiring. He's retiring from StarCraft, so this is like so I do feel a little bit bad that we won't be able to be there for the final KSL with Chicken Man, but we will give him a raid. We're going to give him a raid. We're going to give him that support, of course. We have a lot of love for Chicken Man. He's a great guy, great caster. So a lot of love to Chicken Man. He's one of the big names behind the KSL. Without Chicken Man, KSL would not be a thing. So big love to Chicken Man. Give him some love, give him some support. We will give him a raid, and we'll be back later on tonight for RSL. We'll be back later tonight. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next time here later on tonight for RSL, or sometime during the week for some of our other broadcasts. Until then, thanks for watching. Ciao. Bye bye. Ciao. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego.